Imagine this. It's 1934, New York City. Inside the old New Yorker hotel, up on the 33rd floor, behind a heavy wooden door, lived a thin, tall man with sharp features and eyes full of secrets. That man was Nikola Tesla, one of the greatest minds to ever walk this earth. But here's the strange part. The whole world was talking about Edison, about Einstein. Yet Tesla, he was left in the shadows, almost as if someone wanted his truth to stay hidden. On this very night, a young journalist dared to knock on Tesla's door. He knew he wasn't walking into an ordinary interview. The story goes that this conversation was published once in an old magazine and then mysteriously disappeared, as if someone made sure it would never be read again. When Tesla finally opened the door, the sight was haunting. Simple clothes, dim lighting, a desk covered with tangled wires, sketches, and strange diagrams. It didn't feel like a hotel room at all. It felt like stepping inside the mind of someone not from this world. The first question was innocent. The answer? Anything but. "Do you believe life is just a coincidence?" the journalist asked. Tesla looked up, gave a faint, mysterious smile, and whispered, "There's no such thing as coincidence. The entire universe is a symphony of numbers and vibrations, guided by a mind far greater than anything we can imagine." And that is where the story begins.
The journalist sat across from Tesla. His first words came out a little hesitant. "Mr. Tesla, the world sees you as a brilliant scientist, but very few know you as a person. Where would you like to begin?" Tesla's eyes locked on him, an intense stare, as if he could see through the man's soul, not just his face. After a long silence, he gave a calm smile and said, "I was never just a man working with equations or building machines. I was listening to the universe." The journalist leaned forward, startled. "Listening to the universe? What do you mean?" Tesla raised his thin hand, drawing circles in the air, as if conducting an invisible symphony. "Everything around us speaks, the stones, the trees, even the silence you think is empty. It all speaks, but it speaks in its own language, the language of vibrations." At that moment, the room itself seemed to change. The dim light grew heavier, the silence thicker, as if it was carrying a secret. The journalist grabbed his pen and began to scribble furiously, knowing he was hearing something the world had never been told before. Tesla continued, "People think my inventions came from logic or calculation. The truth? I was only a receiver. I tuned into a higher source, like an antenna picking up a signal." The journalist interrupted. "A higher source? From where?" Tesla chuckled softly. "From the same place everything comes from. Some call it God, others call it the cosmic energy, the great mind. The name doesn't matter. What matters is we are all connected to it." The journalist froze, a shiver running down his spine. For the first time, Science didn't feel separate from the spirit. Instead, it felt like a bridge. Then Tesla's eyes lit up, glowing like they carried the secrets of 1,000 stars. He spoke one final line that made the journalist tremble. If you understand vibrations, you will understand the secret of the entire universe.
The journalist leaned forward, his eyes wide, his voice trembling with curiosity. The secret of the universe. Vibrations? Explain more, Mr. Tesla. Tesla closed his eyes for a moment, then reached for a small piece of metal on the desk. He lifted it into the air and said, "The universe isn't solid the way you think. It's not matter as your eyes make you believe. No, everything around us is in motion. Every atom, every electron, even the vacuum itself, all of it is dancing to a rhythm." The journalist felt the words shake something deep inside him. He scribbled frantically, but Tesla continued, his voice deeper now, like a preacher in a temple. "If I can control the vibration, I can control matter. And if I can control matter, I can change the world." A faint smile crossed his face. Do you know what truly separates one human being from another? It's not appearance, not strength. It's the frequency they emit. We are vibrational beings before we are flesh and blood. The journalist asked nervously, "So, my vibrations could change my reality?" Tesla chuckled softly. "That's what people call coincidence, or miracle, or fate. But in truth, it is law. If you broadcast the frequency of wealth, wealth will come to you. If you live in the frequency of fear, your life will always be haunted by it. The universe doesn't understand words. It understands the music inside your soul." The room fell into absolute silence, yet the air seemed to hum with an invisible resonance. The journalist himself began to feel something strange, as if his inner voice had shifted. Then Tesla, with a calm tone, sharp as a blade, declared, "He who understands vibration holds the keys to power, love, freedom, and even death."
The journalist felt his heart pounding, his voice trembling, as he asked, "Mr. Tesla, you speak as if you've touched secrets no one else has. What do you mean by hidden experiments?" Tesla silenced for a long moment. His eyes drifted into the distance, as if he was searching through memories too heavy for words. Then he looked back at the journalist and said softly, "There were experiments I conducted that, if revealed at the time, could have changed humanity forever. But not every secret should be shared. Some truths are far too powerful for people to handle." The journalist leaned forward eagerly. "What kind of experiments?" Tesla sighed, then spoke with a weight in his voice. "I discovered how to transmit electrical energy without wires. Free, clean power drawn straight from the universe itself. Imagine a city lit up without bills, without smoke, without coal or oil.
But when I presented the idea, they met me with cold smiles and eyes full of greed. They wanted to turn energy into a commodity, not a human right. The journalist's eyes widened. You mean you actually did it? Tesla gave a faint, mysterious smile. I tried. I watched lightning pour into towers I built with my own hands, and I saw machines run without a single battery. But when investors realized they couldn't put a meter on the air, they withdrew their money. The towers were demolished, the dream buried. The journalist froze in disbelief. So, we could be living in a completely different world right now? Tesla's gaze hardened, filled with sorrow. The world could have lived in abundance, but those in power chose to keep humanity in chains. They invented new forms of slavery and called it civilization. The truth is, they feared freedom. His voice grew stronger, almost echoing in the room. There were other experiments, too, things no one but me has ever seen. Experiments in controlling vibrations so precise you could stop a human heart from afar, or move entire armies without a single weapon. The secrets of cosmic resonance. If they fell into the wrong hands, the world would descend into chaos. The journalist shivered, whispering nervously, "And that's why you kept them hidden?" Tesla nodded slowly. "I hid them, not out of weakness, but because humanity isn't ready. The day the world is ready, that's when the secrets will be revealed. Only then will you understand the true meaning of power. Until the human spirit is purified, these experiments must remain in the shadows." He paused, then spoke in a low, solemn tone, like leaving behind a final warning. "Science is no game. It's a double-edged sword, and I chose to bury the sharper edge before it could bury humanity itself."
The journalist fell to weight pressing on his chest, but he couldn't stop himself from asking, "Mr. Tesla, you've spent your life chasing extraordinary experiments, brushing against the secrets of nature itself. But maybe the most important question is this: what do you think about death?" Tesla smiled, an unusual smile, not touched by fear or sadness, more like the calm before a storm. "Death," he let out a short laugh. "Death is just a word invented by man. The truth is, death doesn't exist at all. What we call death is only a transition, a shift from one vibration to a higher one." The journalist raised an eyebrow, stunned. "You mean people don't actually die?" Tesla's eyes gleamed with certainty. "Exactly. The body breaks down, returns to dust, but the soul is energy. And energy can't be created or destroyed. It only transforms. Just as electricity becomes light, or heat, or motion, the soul becomes a new form of existence." He leaned forward, his voice deepening. "I've had moments close to death. I've felt consciousness step away from the body, watching the world from above like a bird set free. That's when I realized time is the illusion. In truth, we are part of an endless river, flowing with no beginning or end." The journalist stared at him, caught between awe and fear. "So,
What does that mean for our lives right now? Tesla answered softly, "It means we are not just bodies living a few short years before vanishing. We are eternal beings. Our struggles, our joys, our pains, they're only stages in a much longer journey. Death is nothing more than a doorway, one that leads to the next chapter." He paused, glancing out the window at the stars, glittering like silent witnesses. Then he continued, "You know, my friend, the real secret isn't about living forever. The secret is realizing we were never meant to die in the first place. Once humanity understands that, their fear will vanish, and their true journey will begin." The journalist's voice trembled. "So, after we're gone, we'll still exist?" Tesla closed his eyes, speaking in a calm whisper. "We'll become music, a single note in the symphony of the universe. And perhaps, one day, we'll hear each other's melodies again."
After hours of conversation, the young journalist finally stepped out of Tesla's room. Yet he was no longer the same man who had entered. His eyes carried a storm of questions, and his heart trembled with the weight of what he had heard. Every word Tesla spoke felt like a spark, burning away old beliefs and planting new certainties. Were we really just flesh and bone, or endless energy flowing through eternity? Was death the end, or the beginning of another melody in the great symphony of the universe? As he walked down the long, dim hallway, the journalist felt his steps grow heavier, as though his mind couldn't contain the magnitude of the encounter. He glanced back one last time. Tesla sat alone by the window, starlight reflecting across his face, making him seem less like a man and more like a being from another world. For a brief moment, silence filled the air, an almost sacred stillness, as if time itself paused to honor a man who had touched the secrets of the cosmos. From that night on, this meeting was remembered as the Forbidden Interview. Not only because it was filled with hidden truths, but because it asked the most haunting question of all. Who are we? Why are we here? And where do we go when the lights finally fade?